Why is it burning? That's not gonna look good with my greasy. Ew. Hey guys, it's me Sylvia, back with another video. Welcome back to my channel. Look at my new backdrop. Just kidding, it's not mine. I'm in a new studio space. This one's like super professional and really cool. I also just tested a video out with some glitter, so it's all over my face. Please ignore that. But yeah, check out this backdrop. Isn't it awesome? I kind of want one from like my home studio. I'm still working on a studio to have in LA right now. Slowly but surely it is coming together, so before you know it, my vids will be back to normal. Anyways, let's start talking about today's video. I'm gonna be testing out 7-Eleven makeup. You heard me right, people. 7-Eleven, the convenience store. They came out with makeup. A lot of it too. I'm pretty sure I have enough for a full face. I'm also pretty sure that none of it was over like $5. So super affordable. Hoping that it's good. Fingers crossed. I swear 7-Eleven has like everything you could ever want. They have alcohol, clothes, like makeup now. So let's get right into it today. So shout out 7-Eleven because they actually also came out with some beauty tools. So we have a few brushes that I grabbed from them and then also their own blender sponge. So I guess it's their version of the beauty blender, and I'm gonna use these in the video just to see how good they really are. So let's start out with the blender sponge, and we're gonna use that to apply their BB cream. They don't have a foundation per se, but they have a BB cream. I got it in the shade light. I'm pretty sure they only have like light, medium, and dark, so not many options there. I didn't see a primer. I'm not sure if maybe the different 7-Eleven locations have different makeup products, but the one that I was at didn't have a primer, so we're just gonna go in with the BB cream first. Usually with BB cream, I never really use a primer anyway. It's mostly just for like foundation. My primer would be like my moisturizer or something. So I wet the blender sponge. Now let's apply the BB cream. It didn't get very big. It looks like the same size as before I wet it. I was expecting it to expand a lot more, but it definitely didn't. Still feels kind of hard. Anyways, let's cover up that zit first, people. Whoa, I thought this was gonna be way lighter than it actually is. How is this kind of matching me? I think it's like the perfect shade. So for sure, if you are really pale, like porcelain shade, they probably don't have a BB cream that's light enough for you, because this light shade is not looking super light. Please, BB cream. I just want you to cover up my zit. I don't care about anything else. So this BB cream has SPF 15. It's supposed to be lightweight. It's supposed to be a buildable coverage. It gives you radiant skin that diffuses the look of fine lines, wrinkles, and pores. It's also supposed to improve your skin's appearance of luminosity. And it actually says that it could be worn alone as like a lightweight coverage or used as a primer kind of before you put on foundation to make your foundation last longer. So far it's taking a really long time to blend out with this blender sponge just because it's really rock hard and it hasn't expanded when I wet it. Also feeling very wet. And I'm like on my third pump. Let's try and build it on those problem areas because I have a lot of them right now and I don't want to go through this whole video with my zits exposed. 10 years later. So it's fully applied. It's really wet. I'm hoping it's gonna dry down. That's not gonna look good in a few hours when my natural oils start to show through. It's gonna end up looking really greasy. But for the color, I'm actually really surprised. The shade matches me really well, actually. So that's a pleasant surprise. As for this, I don't really like this that much. It took a really long time to blend out and it's really hard. Like it feels like I'm punching myself. The BB cream does a good job of kind of just evening out your overall complexion, but obviously if you have any sort of serious zits or breakouts, acne, anything like that, it's not going to cover that. And I normally would not really expect a BB cream to do that. So I'm not going to deduct points for that. I just kind of wish that it did cover up a little bit, or at least was buildable in those areas, but it's not. So if you're looking for it to do those type of things, then you probably won't like it. Let's give it a minute or two to dry. If it doesn't dry by itself, I'll have to set it with a powder because this is just not going to last. So now let's move on to concealer. I got it in the shade light as well. This is supposed to disguise blemishes, scars, dark spots, and other imperfections with this luxuriously creamy concealer. If you blend well, your complexion will appear even-toned and flawless. Even Simply Beauty knows the keys in blending, people. The packaging of this concealer looks really luxurious. I like that. Very lightweight though and feels kind of plasticky, but it looks good. So it's got a giant doe foot applicator. That's interesting. I like that for a concealer. So let's apply this on my under eye. Very yellow and olivey kind of toned. And I'm gonna apply a little bit more on my blemishes because it says it's supposed to help cover those. Oh, it burns. I think my under eyes are really sensitive right now. Whoa, that's burning so badly. I'm gonna blend it out quick. Hopefully that'll help. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that's gonna have this issue because I'm pretty sure it's because of the skincare products that I'm using that are really drying out and they're kind of making my skin really raw. Okay, that feels better after blending it out. It doesn't burn as bad. I feel like the light concealer was a darker color than the light BB cream, which is odd. I'm gonna also use that as a primer for my lids. So this is one layer. Not bad. It's still very sheer. Hasn't really covered up my dark circles. I'm gonna apply a little more to see if we can build it. Also didn't really cover up my blemishes. Very kind of watery feeling. So concealer's full fully applied. I would say it's an ultra light coverage, not very buildable. As you can see, my blemishes are still showing. So far, my complexion isn't normally the type of products that I would use. I don't like light coverage. I don't like greasy or shiny type of products. So right now I'm not loving those two products at all, but that just could be because that's not my personal preference. It's also been quite a while and the BB cream hasn't yet dried down. It's still quite shiny. So we're gonna use their translucent all shades matte powder to set it into place and hopefully get rid of some of that shine, because right now it's a little too shiny. Doesn't look like a natural glow. It looks more like I was sweating in the gym. I'm gonna use their contour brush to apply that. So it says use this to reduce shine throughout the day, or use it as a setting powder to lock in foundation, which is what we're doing right now. Supposed to add freshness to your complexion without altering your makeup or changing the appearance of your skin tone. So supposedly it can be used with all skin tones. Immediately you can see it is toning down the shine of that BB cream, and it doesn't seem to be adding or taking away any color. I can also try and set my under eye with that because definitely the concealer is starting to crease. So it definitely helped to reduce shine, but it didn't completely take it away, which I also liked. It still left a natural kind of glow, but mostly did mattify my entire face. I don't know that I would say it's completely translucent, because as I was packing it on, especially on those problem areas here on my cheek, it did seem to cover it up a little bit more. But as of right now, I'm liking it for what I used it for. It seems to have locked in that BB cream a little bit better, so let's move on to brows. So this is their light brow powder and wax. It's meant to add boldness to your brows with this complementary duo. Use this powder to fill in sparse areas and add dimension. And the wax will secure your beautiful look all day long. So inside it actually does look like one's a wax and one's a powder. It also comes with this very miniature eyebrow brush. Immediately I have the urge to just chuck this across the room, because what the hell am I gonna do with this tiny little thing? It's also quite thick on the tip, and that's not gonna help imitate little brow hairs, so I don't need that. I refuse to use that. I didn't bring a brow brush with me to the studio. I need to find that brush. It's lost forever. So I can't find the brush. I chucked it who knows where, and I definitely played myself because I don't have an eyebrow brush with me. So I can't really try out the powder, but I am gonna test out the wax just by taking this spoolie on the end of my other brow pencil and kind of trying to put it through the spoolie, and let's just run that through my brows. Whoa, it's pretty waxy. Look, it's making them stick straight up. Oh, it seems to be filling them in quite a bit as well. Don't even need that powder. The wax is doing it all for us. And it's not like a really thick wax like I was expecting. It's letting me morph my brow hairs any which way I want. I actually really like that brow wax. You can see it really did fill in most of my brow, and it laid all my brow hairs into place wherever I brushed them. So I would say that's a good brow wax. Let's use some on the other brow. So both brows are done with just using the wax, and did I even need the powder? I don't think so. It is kind of like wet feeling, so I'm not too sure how long lasting it would be, because if you hug somebody, your brow's gonna wipe off. But maybe with using the powder as well, it could be more long lasting. I'm sorry guys, I played myself with that one. Couldn't fully truly test out the product, but for the wax, I'm saying it's pretty good for the price. Moving on to bronzer. So they have the Sun Glow Matte and Shimmer Bronzer, and it says add bronzer as a part of your contouring regimen for a sun-kissed glow. So it looks like they have one dark matte bronzing side, and then the other is lighter, more shimmery bronzer. So let's mix the two of those using their contouring brush. Oh, I like that it's very subtle. I was worried that it would be so pigmented that it would be hard to blend out, but it's very subtle. I really am noticing the shimmer. So I'm gonna go in with the matte because I think it's getting a little too shimmery to the point where it could almost highlight my acne on my cheeks. So let's use the matte bronzer instead. This brush is pretty soft and it just glides on your face. I like the brush. So I'm actually not hating the bronzer. It's very easy to blend out, very buildable. Obviously this specific shade is only gonna suit a certain skin tone. I feel like if you are really dark, it's not gonna do anything for you. I also feel like if you're really pale, it's gonna be too much for you, you know? So I think there's a fine line with the amount of people that could actually use this. But from what I'm seeing, like, I'm not hating it. I'm still hating my complexion overall because it looks very oily, starting to cake up on my nostrils. It's not covering any of my blemishes, but with the bronzer by itself, I actually like the way the formula blended out. So for the price, I would say the bronzer is pretty good. If it'll suit your skin tone, worth a shot. So moving on to blush, I picked out their Coral blush. It has one side that's like reddish and one side that's orange. Not my typical blush shade. I'm gonna mix a little bit of both of these. Now let's lightly apply that on my cheeks. Oh my god, too much. Oh good, it's blending out. I feel like this is the same formula as the bronzer. It blends out really easily. So it's not as horrendous of a color as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be extremely bright, but it's still looking like a little bit too much color going on here. I'm feeling like a doll. I'm gonna try and blend it a little bit more so it's not as intense. So blush is on and it's okay. I'm just having a hard time liking any of the skin products right now because it's looking so splotchy because of that BB cream. But if we're looking at the bronzer and the blush individually, I'm gonna say that they're not absolutely terrible, especially considering the price. I just don't know that I would repurchase them or just invest a little bit more money for a better alternative at the drugstore, because they're not my favorite, but they could be worse, you know? So now I have their Radiant Highlighter. It says, instantly add beautiful luminosity to your complexion with this highlighter that delivers a glowing sheen. A few sweeps is all it takes for a natural radiance. I'm gonna start with this shade right here. It gives you a very natural highlight, which I really like. That's really, really pretty. Wow, 7-Eleven. Who knew you could get a good highlighter for so cheap? That's so pretty. It adds like the most subtle luminosity, but it looks so natural and it's noticeably there. And the more you apply, you can definitely build it to be more and more intense. So if you like a super natural highlight, don't apply too much. If you want it to be more blinding, just layer it on. That's approved by me. I think it's pretty good for the price. I like it. Now let's move on to eyes. I grabbed their aubergine. I feel like I should know how to say that, but I don't. Matte and Shimmer eyeshadow palette. Got a bunch of rosy neutrals, perfect for day and night. They only had one eyeshadow blending brush, so I'm gonna use that, but also use some other brushes to create an eye look. First, I'm gonna use the lightest shade right here to try and pack it on my brow bone and inner corner to see if it does anything. So we don't got much of anything going on really. I'm gonna try and highlight the inner corner. Very subtle. I don't notice anything really. All right, not impressed with that shade. Now I'm gonna go in with this red kind of burgundy shade right there. Quite shimmery. All of these are pretty shimmery except for the one that we just used, which I feel questionable about because I usually want my transition shades and stuff to be matte, and I use shimmery shades just on my lid. So I don't know how I feel about this as a transition. Turned kind of orangish. Definitely isn't that color in the palette, but I'm not hating it. And you can't really tell that it's shimmery once I blended it out. It's a very subtle shimmer. Now let's apply this shade all over the lid. Not much going on. I think the darker colors are performing a little better than the lighter ones right now. I'm gonna spray my brush with Fix Plus and see if we can get it more intense. Okay, you can actually see it now, but it's still pretty subtle. Very pretty though. It's a very neutral color for sure. But wetting my brush definitely helped. Let's try and use this deep purple shade just for the outer corner. Pack it on. Oh yeah, that's showing up. So it takes a couple layers and you definitely have to work at it, but the color shows through. So after building it as much as I could, this is basically all I could get on top of the other shadows. This is all I'm gonna do for the eyeshadow. I basically tried out every color except for the darkest one there, and I have my opinion. I'll say that I've definitely tried worse shadows. Yes, the darker colors do have some shimmer in it, but it's so subtle that you can see when I use it as a transition shade, you can't really tell. If I use it as a darkening shade, you can't really tell. The shadows can only build so much. Like, this is me packing it on for quite a while, and that's as much as I can get it. So there are better shadows out there, but for the price, like, I'm gonna still say that it's decent, and I think you could do some really simple, pretty looks with this. So now I have their Volume and Length mascara. I accidentally bought 2 of these instead of picking up their eyeliner, so my bad, but they do have a liquid liner as well. This is what the wand looks like. Very spiky. I'm kind of worried it's gonna poke my eye out. So this is meant to add volume, length, and it's supposed to lift your lashes so they appear longer and they look curled. So far I'm getting a very natural application. It's not coating them with like an insane amount of product. I like the tip of it because it is getting those inner corner lashes. Let's do the lower lashes. I like the tip of this for lower lashes too. It's very pretty, but they're not like super intense. There's not a ton of product on them. It just coats your natural lashes with the product and just doesn't make them look clumpy or too dense or anything like that. So I could see a lot of people liking this, but I personally prefer my lashes to be very dramatic, very thick, and this isn't doing that for me. Even when I put a ton of product on there, it just still gives you a very nice natural comb through lash. They also have false lashes. I grabbed the full faux lash. These are meant to provide volume yet a natural, subtle, beautiful appearance. These also have a glue with them, but I have never trusted lashes that come with the glue because they usually are really bad. So I'm going to use my own lash glue, and I'm going to apply these off camera to save time. Be right back. So I only have one lash on, but I want to show you guys because you can see there's barely any difference. No lash, lash. It's so natural. So both lashes are on. I probably wouldn't buy them again just because this is what I expect my lashes to look like after I apply mascara. They're so subtle. So the only thing I could think of these lashes would be good for is if you were just starting to apply false lashes and learning how to do it. This would be a really good lash to practice with because it is so subtle. The band is transparent, so if you mess up, it'll be harder to notice, you know? So I think it's a good starting lash if you just want something to practice with. And it's affordable enough to do that. So moving on to lips. So they had quite a few options for lip products, so I grabbed one of their lipsticks and one of their lip glosses to try out. But I thought these would be sufficient enough to see how their lip products wear. So let's use their cream lipstick first. I got the shade Wine. So let's just apply. It fully smells like crayons. Oh my god. Oh, that's pretty. I can't get over the smell though. Like, it really smells like crayons. This is a really, really pretty shade, and it actually was quite pigmented putting it on. I just can't get over the fact it smells like crayons, but if you can get past that, then I would say this is a pretty good lipstick for the price. I can't say to how long it wears though, because that would be something to keep in mind as well. It is quite creamy, so it lives up to its name, and it looks like it's one of those lipsticks that has a little compartment at the bottom of it. Ooh, so you could use that with a brush. Gives you a little bit more lipstick, or you could let a friend use that part if you don't want to share germs, you know, so that's pretty cool. Let's try the lip gloss over top. So this is a much lighter colored lip gloss, but we're still going to apply it over top of the lipstick. It's not goopy at all. I feel like I'm barely getting any product. It's very lightweight. Wow, that's high shine. I was expecting it to be so goopy, but it's so lightweight, and that shine is almost making my lips look like glass. I like that. Another affordable lip gloss that is decent. You can really see the high shine, and it's so lightweight, so when you go like that, it's not gooping together and your lips aren't sticking together. So I love that, because usually lip glosses are like that. Am I right? So everything's on my face. Let's move on to my final thoughts. So those are all the 7-Eleven, aka Simply Beauty products that I have to test out for you guys in this video. I will say the lip products are probably the ones that impressed me the most. Kind of disappointed with the BB cream. It made my skin feel kind of oily. Also, it didn't do a good job covering up my problem areas and emphasizes actually the texture on my skin. So I'm not a fan of the BB cream, but I'm usually not a fan of BB cream, so I wasn't expecting to like it. Also, the concealer isn't doing much for concealing my under eye, if you ask me, and also didn't help to cover up the blemishes. So I'm not feeling like those skin products. Bronzer and blush, I think you can get away with it, especially for such an affordable price, if it can suit your skin tone. The eyeshadows, even as the video went on though, you can see that the colors kind of blended together since they aren't so pigmented on their own. Like when you blend and try and do a multiple colored eye look, you can see that it's kind of meshed into one. So I'm not like a super fan of those eyeshadows, but again, if you're a beginner, you don't want to spend a lot on makeup, by all means, try it out. Do a look with maybe 2 shades at a time, and it could go well for you. Same with the eyelashes. I think they're a great beginner's lash. So that's it for today's video. If you guys haven't yet subscribed, make sure you click this button over here to subscribe and watch these other videos if you haven't seen them yet. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys. Mwah. Bye.